Good afternoon. My name is Ishmael Galarza, and I'll be telling you about my application called Flightlog Management System. Flightlog Management System was a application I created for school, and I'll start. So here we're gonna start with the application. I'm gonna tell you my name, let you know that it actually working properly here. Sorry. Um, Today is Father's Day, so if you are a father, happy Father's Day. Here we log in. As you can tell, we logged in. This is the pilot dashboard with the flight summary. As you can tell, I have some data in here, and the data shows that I've flown of 16 total hours. My last flight was June 10th, 2025, and my currency status right now is current. My last medical exam was January 25, 2025, and I put a not so correct FA license number here. But if you are a FA certified drone pilot with your Part 107, I suggest you put it there. Here's your flight log. The flight log here, I already have two logs here. As you can tell, I flew on May 17th and then June 11th. I'm the operator, and the type of aircraft is vanilla unmanned. I currently work for a company called Platform Aerospace, and they have a Group 3 asset called Vanilla Unmanned. So if you can add a flight log here, so the number 3 is not, you won't be able to edit this, but it'll be my third log. So let's put today's date. So we'll put 15, so it'll be 06/15/2025. I will be the operator, and then I will do Jump 20. So Jump 20 is a Group 3 aircraft, a drone aircraft that I used to work for at AirVironment before I got hired at Platform Aerospace. So we flew a total of 2 hours, so 2 hours here. You see number 3 populated into our application, and I have a total of, so far it would be 18 hours. So if you go back home, yep, 18. So you can tell everything updated. I guess that's a bug right there. We will go to settings, and settings you will be able to log out properly. You can tell alert, sign out successfully. So now we can register another account if you want to use, if you want to add your name there or your email address, password, your FAA license number, and the last time you had a FAA or either 1, 2, or 3 class 1, 2, or 3 FAA medical exam here. You'll be able to hit submit, and then you'll be added to Firebase for our data storage. So now let's go to the code here on GitHub. Here's my GitHub tag here. We're gonna go to index. Index is my login screen here. So as you can tell, we use routes for Expo. We use React Native. We use Firebase config. I have a config file here for to bring in all the data in from the Firebase cloud and Firebase authentication. Here's all of my constants here, my use states, my sign up functions here. This is gonna let you validate the registration for the date for your last final exam here. If you didn't put it in correctly, or any of the forms inputs, it will tell you that you need to do a proper format or put proper either a string or a number in there. This sets everything up to the user, my user database on Firebase. So you got user ID. It'll submit your email, license number, and last date of your medical exam. My sign in, once the sign in's here, authentication with my email and password. It's gonna route itself back to the home, and then if it doesn't, if you got the wrong username and password, it's gonna say sign in fail, and then you get an error message. So if we type in whatever and we type whatever here, log in, it'll tell you, hey, sign in failed, Firebase error. Safe area view. I had to learn this on React Native. I guess it brings in your whole application into like a safe area, so it won't bleed out to like your time here or your signal or your battery. It'll be nice and contained for you, so you can format it the way you need to. And then my buttons on press, it would be sign in or sign up for registration. And then the model will slide in, and you'll be able to put all your inputs in here. And then here's all the styles. So on React Native, you have to use the constant styles and style sheet.create, and then you use everything as you see here. It's almost like using CSS, except you have you do it in well, I guess you would do it in curly brackets in CSS too, but you use it as a function. It was a learning curve for me to use React Native, because I never used React Native JSX before. So now that was my login screen. Here's my root layout. So it's either my login when the application renders, and then if you log in, it's going to go into my tabs. So header show here. So I have it false. There's a header. If I put true, it will show up a header here. I didn't like it, so I just I put false so I can just remove it from the application and make it look nicer to me. That's what I believe. So you go home. So same thing, home. Once you log in, it's going to go here. It's going to tell you the formats that it's going to display my last time flown here. My use effect, it's going to fetch all my data and flight logs. Once I render it, it's going to bring it in. So let's log in back. So you can see. So it'll render all this information from my database. It's gonna add all the logs together. It's gonna tell me when my last time was flown, if I'm current, or my last time I had my medical exam, and my license number from Firebase. You can tell it's gonna add everything together. My last time flown, it's gonna bring it all in there, and it's gonna. Then you call the function fetch user data. So this cleans up everything, and if it's loading, and for example, if it was taking its time, like if I had really bad internet service right now, it will say loading, and it'll be waiting. That's my splash page, and then once it loads all the data, it will render this. And if it doesn't, it will tell me on the screen, no user data found. And we use the same thing here. We use safe area view again, just to keep everything contained within my screen, so it doesn't look weird or offset, or it just doesn't look good. But I really enjoy using safe area and scroll views. So here's my pilot stuff, my formatting. If there's for example, if I made an account and I don't have my last time that was flown, it will say NA. The same thing with currency. It will say NA. Same thing with my medical exam and my license number as well. So to add a currency here, we made a function. This function is last time flown was not, if there's nothing there in my account, it will say status unknown. And then if I do have a flight, let's say for example, I flew 29 days ago, so the day since is less than 30. So typically 9 times out of 10, most companies have a 30-day rule where if the operator doesn't have a live flight within 30 days, if he goes over 30 days, he will have to take a live flight to stay current with his skills for flying that UAV. So here's if it's less than 30 days, that means it's current. If he goes over 30 days, that means that he's overdue, and it's also going to display how many days overdue he is. And that's one of my favorite things. If when I was coming up as a young UAV operator in the military, I wish I had some kind of application that can like tell me what when it's coming up, and then so I can start making my appointments and stuff. And the same thing here. We had a style sheet to make all of this properly look nice for the end user. So we were just at home, flight log. So we got a flight log here. So it's gonna bring everything. Here's all my constants from my use states that I'm gonna use my variables. Use effect is going to bring all my logs in. It's going to fetch everything I needed to fetch. It's going to bring it in from Flightlog collection, which is my database for that specific logs, and then it's going to sort everything from the latest the latest flight I have is going to render first, and then all my older stuff is going to render last. Here's going to be all my logs. There's going to be my ID number, my flight number, and etc. etc. Here's going to be increases my log by 1, and this all is going to clear my forms once I hit when I submit my form, and then or if I cancel my form. Same thing here. It's going to add all my stuff. I can be able to add a log or update my log. And then he's got all the data validation stuff. Now, if I don't have all that stuff, it's gonna try to get all this stuff, and then it's gonna bring it all from flight logs, and then it's gonna update it after it updates. And then I have delete here. Deletes my log. So if I want to delete something, let's delete the actual log I just created today. I can just hit delete, and then it deletes it. It took me a while to get that functioning correctly, but after reading the documentation from Firebase, it was kind of easy. I just had to understand it better. So I used the Firebase documentation, and I used a couple of YouTube videos, which was very helpful. And here it's going to render my items. All my items here, my flight number, date, operator, the type of aircraft I logged, and how many hours I logged there too as well. I'll be able to delete with a delete button. It calls out delete log function, and the ID number I want to delete. It'll delete it from the Firebase cloud database. Module up here with all the stuff when I want to log, and then all my style sheets are going to come out here too. And then finally is settings. Settings, I had a great time trying to figure out how to log out of the actual application. It was as simple as just using an export route to replace my my previous screen that I was in. So previously I had it here. I had /home because I thought it was /index. I thought it would go back to the login screen, but it doesn't. All you have to do is just hit a / and it'll take you right back to the beginning of your route or tabs. So it goes before your tab, and then it will go straight into the index. As you can tell here, we're gonna try it. So we're gonna log out, and it takes me to sign out successfully, which takes me back to my index from my previous directory, and then I'll be able to just continue. And again, we use safe area and settings, and we use a style sheet. And tabs, inside the tabs, I have another layout. So I forgot to talk about this, but this layout gives me all my navigation bars at the bottom. So my tab screen is going to give me a home, and I put a function from font awesome, and it gives me a size and the color that I wanted to use. They're up here. And of the same thing, I didn't like the header, so I put it as false so it won't display it. And the same thing here, flight log is the title, and I have a plane as my icon, and I have a home as an icon here. And then for settings, I have a gear icon, and it's title settings. That is my application, and thank you very much.